I'm what we would consider to be a tour DJ. And so I go from city to city, state to state, country to country, and I go on stage and I put on a show. Like you would see your favorite band perform. That's what I do, but it's just me. I started working with a record label in Atlanta called Reach Records. And their main artist on the roster, his name is Lecrae. He's a 2-time Grammy Award-winning artist. And so I got to travel up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, and then I began traveling overseas. I've probably been on every continent except Antarctica and Asia to do this DJing thing. I remember I did a tour, we did a concert in Africa. Until we got there, we landed at the airport. There's like 300 people at the airport with signs and they're chanting our names. It was crazy. And then we get to the show, it's probably like 6,000 people there. My father was a pastor right here in the city of Durham, here in East Durham specifically. Actually, when I left to go to school to Liberty, my plan was to pursue a career in broadcasting, maybe do something in the music business, and never come back to the city again. When I got to Liberty is when, like maybe my second week there, is when I started my career as a DJ. There was a group on the campus who would recruit for the school. And they decided one day, hey, we should get a DJ. And so they put up a sign, hey, we're looking for a DJ, here's the tryout. I said, I don't have turntables. So he looks at me and says, listen, if you go buy a pair of turntables, here's the deal. You get the turntables, you'll get the gig, and we'll give you $1,000 a semester towards your tuition. Like literally when they said, go get you some turntables, I didn't know what turntables to get. I just bought the first thing that looked cool, and that's what I went with. Me and my best friend, we went to the dorm room. We didn't even have a table. We set up an ironing board. We didn't even have records. So growing up here in East Durham, I saw a lot of things. Thankfully, by God's grace, my parents raised me and my brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest of 9 kids, and they raised us in a good Christian home, which, although we were around all the things of an inner city neighborhood, from prostitution, drugs, gang activity and whatnot, we never got involved with any of those things. When I was working in the music business and I felt the Lord calling me back to the city, one of my main questions that I had, seeing all the things that were going on, and particularly in the community that I wanted to serve, I see a lot of churches, and I always ask myself this question: if there are all these churches that are in this community, why are all these things still going on the way that they are? And I think me answering that question is where I found that I had that desire, man, let me, instead of looking from afar, seeing the problem, let me come and be a help. And that's where I said, okay, well, if I go back, I feel the only way for me to do it is to be a part of a church plant. And so that's when I felt the Lord calling me into that church plant. I said, oh man, are you kidding me, man? But with this DJing piece, I'm able to reach young people that don't necessarily come to our church. And so instead of going out a lot of times and using the pastoral role, if you would, because for some reason people get intimidated when you come in and say, hey, I'm a pastor. Now when I say I'm a DJ, it's like, oh man, that's cool. I have a team that I've been able to build with young men who I have brought under my wing to mentor. But this is how these two worlds really collide. So this fall, we're going to be doing a tour. It's called the Glow Party Tour. And I'm bringing these young men along, so not only mentor them, but to actually provide employment to help meet some of their physical needs as well. I feel like I am a guy in a weird space. That's just doing what I love, which is reaching people and playing music. And so I think whether there's the titles there or not, this is who I am.